Thank you. You're far too kind. Segment 2 coming up. Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, talking about the do's, the don'ts of the financial markets, and our sponsor, Online Trading Academy, on their 25th year. Actually, 25 years coming up here in June, teaching people just like you how to trade and invest. We're going to have a party, 25th anniversary party, Al. We're going to have
we should do that.
Maybe we should do that next week. Let's have some balloons and some those things you blow and they make noises. Kazoos, is that what it's called?
A little bit of cake, maybe some champagne.
Or hold the cake and have some champagne.
Forget the cake. Who needs cake?
There you go. But we do have investing classes live here at Online Trading Academy, here in Bloomington, Minnesota, Denver, Colorado, and Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're in any one of these metro locations, text right now. Get your phones ready. You can text in right now for 2 tickets for an investing class to learn how to get in these markets. Even if you're in the markets, hopefully making smarter investing decisions. Text right now. Text the word invest to the number 484848. I know that's tough. Text invest to the number 484848. You can receive a text back. Make sure you just follow the thread. We're going to communicate with you via text because I know everybody likes to do things a lot easier these days.
Right.
And texting is that way to go. So, Al, we talked about in the last segment with current market conditions and the cost of everything going up. I believe you said the cost of goods and services went up this past event. Mm-hmm. And
last quarter.
There you go, last quarter. So we're seeing a lot of people spending more and some not making more. Some are making less, some are making more. But really, one of the things that we do at Online Trading Academy is we teach strategies for income because that's what you need to, I guess, build wealth, but also to combat a lot of this inflation because it takes more than one income source to create wealth. So you have to have an income strategy to do that. Let's talk about some of those different strategies for income that we're seeing a lot of people come to the academy to learn about. So when you teach investing classes here locally, what are some of the key components people get out of these investing classes to learn what's available for an income strategy that they can do from home?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that people have very little information about because Wall Street typically doesn't address that income part of it. It's more, they address more the long-term holding kind of a portfolio. So if your decision in the first section I mentioned, you have a choice. You can either give your money to someone else or you can take control of it yourself. If you decide that you want to take control of your money or at least a part of it, then we'd like to be able to help you to do that. And to do that, our goal is to help you to have the opportunity to be a consistently profitable trader or investor. And we do that by providing the necessary knowledge and then helping you build the skills to use that knowledge along with tools and resources and support and guidance to be able to do that. A lot of people don't take control of their own assets because they think it's too complicated, and they have been conditioned to believe that by the people that need you to believe it, and that's Wall Street. They need you to need them.
Think about that for a second. You're being told from a young age and conditioned that you should put your money with somebody else.
Correct.
Well, maybe people should just, get paid by somebody else and not have to go to work. That's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's part of what we want to help you decide in these classes. Is this right for you? And should you take control of your own assets? What are the benefits in doing that? How can it help you? But one of the things we want to do is to keep it simple. A lot of people believe it's too complicated, but trading really can be quite simple. It's the trader or the investor themselves that make it more difficult than it has to be. So we want to keep it simple, whether you're looking at income or building and controlling your wealth. And there's just some steps that you want to follow regardless of what you're doing. First of all, you want to make sure you're on the right side of the market. How do you do that? In other words, is the market going to go up? Is the asset that you're looking at going to go up or go down? And how do you determine that? Well, we have an investment strategy called Core Strategy that helps you do that by identifying where the buyers are and where the sellers are. And by that, I mean institutional buyers or sellers, people that have enough clout to move the market. So it shouldn't make that much difference as to what's happening in the economy as long as you can identify where institutional buying activity is going to take place. That will help to determine that you should be on the bullish side. If institutional sellers are prevalent, then you want to make sure you're on the we'll call the bearish side. And that's what the core strategy helps you identify. Then you have to determine your risk management strategy, what your profit potential is it worth taking the trade? And then also how you protect your profits. Those are important things. But the reason that we think an income is so important now is that, and you mentioned this before, Josh, in order to have wealth, in order to create wealth, it requires additional income over your disposable or over the income you need to live. And that's that disposable income that you need. And that's gone down for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And the reason is that the majority of the people out there that are struggling in that aspect are probably not participating in the market, or they're doing it in a way where their results are mediocre, or in this first quarter, this market has been down. If you are following that long-term Wall Street buy and hold advice, how has that worked out for you in the first quarter?
Yeah.
Probably not very well. If you have followed a Wall Street dividend portfolio, how has that worked out? Probably not very well. Mm-hmm. So what are the ways that you can use income, or you can develop more income? There are strategies that really are designed for that. And those are strategies that the institutions are using. People like Warren Buffett use them, hedge fund managers, all of the successful people out there. They don't just buy stock and hold on to stock or equities for 10 or 20 or 30 years. Mm-hmm. We're talking about things like leveraged assets, like the futures market, the Forex market, the options market. And by leverage, I mean that whatever you have in an investment account will allow you to control a multiple of that in the futures, Forex, or options market. It could be 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 50 to 1, 100 to 1.
Yeah.
That's maximizing the value of every dollar you have. That's how you can not only have the opportunity to do better than the average person out there, the average investor, but also these are short-term trading vehicles. So you can get into and out of them on a short-term basis, which that's how you create income. Income can't be something that you put money in now and you wait 20 or 30 years to reap the benefits of it. It has to be something that you can access in a short period of time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. I want to talk about that a little more in detail with these other markets, but you mentioned kind of at the beginning of your talk there about having a consistent strategy. And consistency means you need something for up markets. You need a strategy also for down markets like we're seeing right now. So I think that's why we're going to see a lot of retail traders kind of just disappear because they don't know how to trade a down market. These are great opportunities because it goes down faster. So you also need the right tools, as Al was talking about, but the knowledge and then building the skills. Trading investing is a skill. And when he teaches investing classes here locally in Denver and also in Bloomington and Atlanta, goes into what supply and demand actually looks like, kind of a visual, so you can see how the markets function, how it works, and how we want to trade like the institutions, like the banks, because they move the money. It's the big money that moves the market. So we want to trade like them. If you're looking for more income strategies, if you're looking to have the opportunity for wealth strategies, you got to get started. And if you start from even if you've been trading for many years, maybe, get a booster potentially, or if you're brand new, get started in these investing classes. Actually, let's do a text. You can get your phone ready. I'm going to give you a text number for 2 tickets for an investing class. Also, some free stock picks that come along with that in a financial quick start kit. So text the word right now. Text the word invest to the number 484848. That's invest to the number 484848. You can receive those tickets for the investing class when you attend. You're also going to receive those free stock picks that come in that financial quick start kit. So you mentioned some of these different assets that allow investors, people, the public, to trade with less capital. And futures and Forex allows leverage. So basically, if you can control a multiple of dollars for what you have. But also, there's a lot of people that work during the day, Al. They're like, well, how do I trade during the day? How do I trade the market when I work during the day? What are the opportunities in the evening so people can still have an income strategy on top of their job?
Yeah, those futures and Forex, those assets trade virtually 24 hours a day. So you have a lot of versatility there as far as when you are going to be trading. And the other thing is that futures and forex also have a tax advantage. I know a lot of people are concerned about taxes, and nobody gets excited about paying them. But futures and forex have a tax strategy that allows you to short-term trade those vehicles, which typically would be short-term taxes, which are higher than long-term. In other words, if you hold in less than a year, you're in typically a higher tax bracket than if you hold something long-term, which is more than a year. But futures and forex trade with a 60-40 split, which means 60% is treated as long-term capital gains, even though you trade them maybe on a daily or weekly basis.
Basically, you just keep more of your capital. So that's what it's all about.
The bottom line. It's key, and that is the key. It's not really what's important isn't how much you make; it's how much you keep.
Exactly.
And that's one of the advantages of using those two assets.
So when you talk about forex and futures, what do you think an optimal time would be to trade? We'll say the forex market. Is it like 4 or 5 o'clock, or do you see a lot of people trading maybe the Asian markets at between 7 and 10, or maybe in the middle of the night?
Yeah, and we kind of go over that in these classes, those time periods that are better for trading. But the bottom line here is that just because our market closes, it doesn't mean other markets close also.
Yeah.
They're open, and those markets, the forex market, can be the most active during the times that our stock market is closed.
So to ask you another question a little deeper, because a lot of our listeners are probably wondering how do I trade the European market? It's just an account that you open here in the U.S.
Sure, right.
It's just a platform, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. If you open an account and you trade a stock, you open that account and you look at the stock symbol and you either buy or sell. The same thing is true with a forex trade. It's a pair. You're trading two different currencies, but it trades as one thing. So It's at one symbol. You can buy or you can sell it. So you can participate in an up market or a down market with the foreign exchange market.
So it looks just like a stock would look. It's just the dollar and the yen or something like that.
Exactly. And that's why people look at these things as being too complicated, primarily because they don't understand them. They haven't really had any exposure or education on them. And the same thing with the futures market. It's a symbol, and you can participate in that market basically 24 hours a day with a number of different components. Look at the futures market as being a family, like a huge family of different investments that you can participate in that give you an opportunity to be really well
diversified. As well.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's
in
what I
multiple
was looking
assets.
for. Right. Some things are correlated, some are inversely correlated, some not correlated at all. And that's really what you want to have access to if you want to have proper diversification.
Yeah, and really what the futures market are, there you have your commodities, gold, oil, silver, my favorite,
lean hogs.
You have the S&P 500. So a lot of people that like to trade stocks, why not do that in the futures market? You can trade the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Dow. You can do that in the futures market because you can use less capital to control a much larger asset. Remember with stocks, if you want to buy 100 shares of a stock, it ties up that capital that you're using.
Correct.
Be more efficient with futures. Be more efficient with Forex. And that's why people can get in the market potentially a little bit easier because they can use less.
Right.
So we talk about that in these investing classes. You teach these here locally in Bloomington. We also have these in Denver and Atlanta. And these are classes really where we've taught thousands just like you. And there are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So we have classes during the week. We also have these on the weekend. And they're about 2 hours. The great thing about these hours, they're free to get people into the market, but do that with confidence and hopefully building consistency in their trading and investing, whether they're looking for income strategies or wealth strategies, which is what we'll talk coming up here next. So stay tuned for the wealth strategies, which would be 401ks and IRAs. But Al, we've had a lot of people call in today and also text in for this free class because we're seeing great opportunities in the markets, and they say, hey, I want some of that. I want to take advantage of that as well. So text right now. Text the word invest to the number 484848 for 2 tickets. That's text invest to the number 484848 for 2 tickets for an investing class. When you get set up with this class, you're going to receive a financial quick start kit that'll do 2 things. It'll help you get started right away, but also you get some free stock picks that are included in there and kind of see how our core strategy works in the market. Coming up next, we're going to talk about those wealth strategies, 401ks, IRAs. We're seeing a lot of people not look at their 401k statement, well, that's probably one of the worst things anybody can do. So how to take more action in these accounts. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Confidence. We'll be right back.